you have it? Do you have it?
Guts. Do you have it? Guts. We've got Guts here at the Pop Complex, and this year for NICKvember, we're taking a look at one of Nickelodeon's most innovative and unique action sports game shows, Guts. My name is Matt, and this is the Pop Complex. Welcome back to the channel. It's that time of year again, NICKvember, where we take a look at classic, nostalgic, and oh-so 90s Nickelodeon. And if you can't tell by now, today we're talking about Nickelodeon's Guts. Standing alongside Nickelodeon's other unprecedented action-oriented game shows, such as the legendary Double Dare and the iconic Legends of the Hidden Temple, Guts continued Nickelodeon's groundbreaking and pioneering game creation. Game shows just for kids. But not just the idea of a simple game show for kids, one that would engage only their minds and wit, but their whole bodies as well. A game show where the challenge was physical competition. Nickelodeon created the action sports show that's going to make you sweat. But first, a little history. Nickelodeon's Guts premiered on Nick on September 19th, 1992, and ran for 4 seasons until December 10th, 1995, consisting of 160 episodes. The show's 4th and final season in 1995 was rebranded as Global Guts and featured contestants from countries all over the world. Guts was co-created by Albie Hecht, Scott Fishman, and Byron Taylor. Albie Hecht co-created Chauncey Street Productions, the independent company that produced television programs for Nickelodeon, MTV, CBS, and A&E. For the choice of host for Nickelodeon's Guts, it was none other than Nickelodeon's own fresh, up-and-coming Mike O'Malley. O'Malley had just started hosting another of Nickelodeon's lesser-known game shows, Get the Picture, just a year prior, starting in 1991. It's worth noting that O'Malley went on to have his own mild success with the CBS sitcom Yes Dear in 2000. O'Malley, however, didn't host Guts alone. His quirky co-host and the show's referee was the charming British actress and comedian Moira Quirk, whom O'Malley usually affectionately referred to her as just Mo for short. Moira Quirk was always traditionally dressed in a referee's striped shirt, and she gave overviews of the competition games beforehand, as well as recaps of each of the competitors' scores after each round. But what about the show itself? Well, like everything else for kids in the 90s, this show was extreme. If you're a 90s kid like me, you know that the 90s was the decade of extreme. The colors were extreme, the music was extreme, the toys were extreme, the food was extreme, the clothes, well, you get the idea. And this action sports show was no exception. Why, even the indoor location where all the competitions took place was dubbed the Extreme Arena. And even the final event was so extreme, so radical, it was known only as the Aggro Crag, short for aggressive rock. You can't get more extreme than that, but we'll come back to the crag later. Each episode consisted of 3 kids represented by their own individual color: blue, red, and purple. Very 90s. I'm surprised that they didn't throw in Charlotte Hornets teal just to top off the 90s goodness. Each of these 3 competing kids would have some sort of extreme nickname in between their first and last names. Names like Robert the Bull Mantoro, Tony the Tiger Ferrari, or Claudia the Gator Gutierrez. Even the colors had extreme names like the Blazing Blue, the Radical Red, or the Powerful Purple. Now, the competitions. In each episode, the 3 kid competitors were challenged by extreme versions of sports over 4 unique rounds. The 5th and final round would be the mighty Aggro Crag. Now, I'm not going to go over every single event shown in every episode. There were dozens. So I'll just touch on them briefly. Usually, these competitions could fall into 3 common variation categories. The first, aerial or bungee. These games would consist of each competitor being tethered to an elastic bungee cord. They would generally have a goal to achieve while jumping down off of risers onto the ground and back up again. This could consist of basketballs and hoops, footballs through tires, or even archery-like projectiles on colored targets. The second, the wave pool. The Extreme Arena also featured a full-size wave pool that could be used to test the player's aquatic agility in some form or fashion. This usually would entail the player having to make their way across or paddle to the opposite ends of the pool on an inflatable raft or a boogie board, the entire time accosted by water cannons or whitewater simulation. And third, the track. The Extreme Arena also featured a full indoor track where the basis of these events was basically the element of a race. Events on the track included a moon race where players basically hopped around the track in Nickelodeon's own moon shoes. Man, I really wanted a pair of these as a kid. Product placement, am I right? And also, one of my favorites, Wild Wheels, where the players were strapped into special reclined tricycles and had to avoid obstacles while they raced. There was even a Mad Max variation of this, played very much the same but with Mad Max-inspired obstacles like the Junkyard or Pothole Pass. The point system of all of these events was simple. The most points scored or the fastest time achieved in each event would result in 300 points for first place, 200 points for second place, and 100 points for third place. And now, what we've all been waiting for, the mighty mountain itself. The 5th and final event that would determine who truly had guts, the Aggro Crag. The Aggro Crag was certainly the center focus of the Extreme Arena and the ultimate spectacle of the entire show. The massive man-made mountain consisted of 3 identical sides for each player to scale in the fastest time, but that was far from the only challenge. While on the way up, each player was required to hit a series of lighted buttons called actuators, while at the same time fighting their way through the worst the crag had to offer. Avalanches of simulated boulders, storms of flying confetti snow, smoke, and flashes of lightning. If a player missed an actuator on the way up, they couldn't finish the climb until they went back and hit it. The final actuator at the top signaled completion. The first player to the top was awarded a final 725 points, second place 550, and third place 375 points. Certain actions would disqualify a player to automatically third place points, such as crossing into another player's section of the crag, hitting another player's actuator, or using the side rails to help them with their climb. The players with the second and third highest points after scaling the crag would be awarded the silver and bronze medals respectively, but the player with the highest point score would not only be awarded the gold medal, but also a trophy piece of the Aggro Crag itself, or as Mike O'Malley would say, a glowing piece of that radical rock. But come on, we know that's not an actual piece of the Aggro Crag. It's just a neon green lighted mountain-shaped plastic trophy, right? Well, if you were between the ages of 10 and 15 and had just scaled the crag, that was the coolest, most awesome feat you would ever achieve in your young life. The Aggro Crag would also go through a few changes to make it more difficult throughout the course of the show. It became known as the Mega Crag for Season 3, and the Super Aggro Crag for the 4th and final season. Well, that was a NICKvember look at Nickelodeon's guts.
Do you have it? Do you have it?
Let me know if you have guts down below in the comments. And don't forget to hit the like button. And if you have guts to hit that subscribe button and bell, you'll always be notified anytime I upload a new video to the channel. Thanks for watching, guys, and have an extreme day.
Do you have it? Do you have it?